Hey fam, Sarah here. Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm sharing a cook with me. I am going to be making a butternut squash soup. This is one of my children's all-time favorite soup of fall. I told you guys that fall is my favorite season as well, and I absolutely just adore like anything cozy, and squash soup is definitely like a cozy meal. The cutting up and the preparing of all this stuff though is not like, I'm not going to say it's hard, but it is actually quite a bit of work, especially the way I made it today, because I was missing a couple ingredients such as like having my own broth. So I did end up just making my own broth, and that took a little bit more time, I guess, and all the chopping of the butternut squash, because honestly it's not the easiest thing to peel. The outer skin is so tough, and you just have to kind of, be careful. I know I'm fast forwarding it, guys, so you get to see it at a speedy rate, but this stuff actually took a little bit of time to prepare, but it's honestly worth it because it's a simpler meal. It doesn't require very much. I think I got these 2 butternut squash, and they were a decent size, from Costco. They had them 2 for $5.99, which is a very simple or easy, oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? It's a very cheap price for a meal, even though I do have a few other ingredients involved. I want to point out, by the time you guys are seeing this, I obviously made this for fall because, like I said, fall is like the cozy vibes that I was going for, but I didn't know if I should post this because I think I did post a video on me making this recipe a long time ago, but honestly it's well overdue because I make it all the time in the fall season and I don't share it often enough. So just wanted to kind of put you guys on. Also, while I did make a big batch of this, I ended up making basically 2 different kinds of soup because my husband wasn't yet home. So for the kids that were at home and they were hungry, I went ahead and I ended up kind of blending theirs up with heavy cream because they like theirs to be a lot creamier. And then for my husband, when he had gotten home, I made his with less cream. So his is just a little less creamier. And honestly, it did change the color as well as the consistency and the taste. So you can do a few different things with this soup. While some recipes may have things like celery and carrots and squash, others will add potatoes, just like regular, I guess, Yukon Gold potatoes or yellow potatoes. And then others like mine, today I included some frozen veggies, basically to kind of make a broth because I didn't have a broth on hand. I don't know what happened, but typically I have a bunch stored in the pantry and I guess I just used it and I didn't realize that we were all out. So I definitely need to get my hands on that. But as of late, I've been experimenting a lot more in the kitchen by making a variety of things. I have another recipe that I want to share with you guys, and it's me making, basically it's making like a chicken dinner, but I made like some honey garlic seasoning, and oh my gosh, I was just like, or sauce, and I was really amazed by just how it tasted as well as smelled throughout the whole house. Oh my goodness. So I'm just like intrigued and wanting to make my own sauces and try a variety of things. While it's convenient to buy stuff store-bought, like it's really nice to also be able to make things at home, and I'm learning more and more just how good they taste and how wonderful they smell. Like my whole house smelled so good. So I did debate whether or not to use fresh ingredients because I actually had some fresh produce on hand, but I decided because the squash was the main ingredient. I'm like, you know what? Let me just use the frozen stuff, and that way I can actually use my fresh produce tomorrow, that, for my next meal. So I went ahead and I just used the frozen stuff, but I was trying to pick throughout it initially to just kind of distinguish the different flavors, like what exactly did I want to put in it and what did I want my squash to taste like it. But then I kind of gave up on that and I literally put everything from the frozen veggies into it, and it tasted perfect. It was just basically like a combination of flavors. Also, this jar right here, I needed to move it from the counter. And I have since I've made this video, but it's been on this counter for a while because it is our memory jar. Every time we do an activity or something memorable, like just going on a trip or going to the movies or going to Santa's village, or you know, simple things like that, not like everyday basic things, but just things that we do together, we like to put it inside that jar. And the key is that we're going to go through it one day and just kind of look and talk about it and smile, you know, just kind of reminisce. And so the jar is really stuffed at this point. I'm sure, I guess we can put some more stuff in it, but I might have to update the jar. Anyways, just thought I'd share that with you guys. But it's been on the counter, and I've since cleared off the counter because I really don't like a messy counter. But because of the way our house is set up, it's an older house, guys, and it only has the utility outlets in certain areas, so I tend to have it heavy on both sides, like just facing that area towards the stove, because that's where the plugs are. And then there's other corners in my home on my countertop that I wish I could utilize in the same way, like set up my coffee bar over there, but I can't because it doesn't have an outlet. So I don't know, Babes and I are like really thinking about what are the options. The options would include cutting through you know, backsplash and all that jazz, and I don't know, we're not like ready for that at this current moment. But another cool thing is, though, Babes has since updated a lot of the areas in the house and created outlets with the new ports and that have like the plugs for your phones and stuff like that. So we're really blessed in that area, and I appreciate that. I just wish we could modify our counter in a much simpler way without it becoming like a mega construction zone. But you know, beggars can't be choosers, so you just make do with what you have. But I've since cleared up that counter space and just made it so much cleaner, and I'll show you guys in the vlog kind of like what I did, and I'm so much more happy with the space. And yeah, I just feel like one of the things I need to do is also declutter all of my utensil holder. I have a ton of utensils out on the counter, but I realized I don't use these all the time, so maybe I need to condense it a little bit. So it's the moment of truth. We'll see how the kids think it tastes. I didn't put a lot of salt in this, so I hope, you know, it tastes good. It looks good. It's all right, you deal with that. Can't say I burnt you.
That's good. That's good.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to have more salt?
So creamy. Yeah, like you got like a little more salt. Honestly, if we had like our own salty crackers, it'll be fine.
That's true.
Know? Yeah.
I could add a tint more salt. Tint?
So creamy.
It is very creamy, isn't it?
Oh, it's so good. Mm. Oh my goodness, the blender's so hot.
It is hot. Okay, let's. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna add a little bit more salt.
That's probably good, to be honest.
Yeah, don't wanna.
Doesn't need like a whole lot more.
Overdo it. I don't really like things super salty around here. So one thing you guys will see me do continually when I'm blending anything super hot in the blender is to allow for my blender to vent. My Blendtec has this little section that I can just kind of pop up and allow for the steam to come out and not allow it for it to build up and possibly kind of build pressure and pop off, and I wind up burnt. So just remember this little tip, very important part of blending hot things. Okay. So the kiddos are trying it. I added a little bit more salt.
It's so good. It tastes delicious.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have it with croutons. So that is pretty much my recipe. The recipe that I'm using. Last time I think I did it a little bit different. I used coconut milk. This time I also made my own little, like almost like vegetable broth. I don't have any broth because I don't know why. I typically do have some on hand. Didn't have any this time. So as you guys saw, I sauteed my onions, and then I added a bunch of frozen veggies, to it and just kind of cooked it down till it was perfectly fine enough to puree it along with the squash.
Yeah.
And then I added heavy whipping cream to it, along with just a little bit of the salt, because I added a lot of seasoning to the pot when I put the veggies in it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for coming along. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Actually, I'll show you how I plated it, I guess. And yeah, that'll be it for the rest. So as per usual, guys, I'm showing you a little glimpse of what my kids did to further prepare their meal. This is one of those unusual nights for us where we're not necessarily eating together just because hubby isn't home yet, and you know, I'm just here with the children, so it's a later night. And also I just wanted to end off on a little question, like, what is one of your favorite fall foods? What do you like to prepare throughout the fall? Are you big into cozy food? And what's your favorite season? That will be a question. What is your favorite season? Winter is approaching and your girl is not that happy about it, but it is what it is, like I always say, and you must be thankful for every day. Yay. Bye, y'all.